History of winners in Milwaukee hoops. 2003 Marquette, led by a man named Dwayne Wade, marching to the Final Four, losing to Kansas. 77 high water mark for Marquette, 25 wins. Al McGuire's final game as a coach, national championship against North Carolina. And who could forget a young man named Lou Alcindor, 1971, the Milwaukee Bucks, sweeping the Baltimore Bullets with Oscar Robertson and head coach Larry Costello. Sets a scene for another one in Milwaukee today. Second game of our triple header in the Big Three. It's the Triplets and three-headed monsters from Fiserv Forum. Let's take a look at where it all stands. The Aliens, another win, their third, getting the best of threes company in our opener. As for this game, Triplets trying to get back into sole possession of first place, trying to get to 6-1. Ed Cohen back with Avery Johnson. Let's talk about game one, because that was no doubt the best game for the Aliens this season. On the other side, may have knocked threes company out of playoff contention.
Yes, we talked about how significant game one was, and the Aliens were the more desperate team. They came out, they set the tone from the beginning. Brandon Rush with his three-point shooting, and Greg Oden inside. Greg Oden just looked like a guy that's happened to be playing basketball. You know, he's really grateful that he's had another opportunity, especially with all of the injuries throughout his professional career. And boy, he was a force in the middle on both ends of the floor.
Aliens expansion team, they'll have a chance at a 500 record by winning this one here today. All right, another expansion club, maybe the biggest story so far in this Big Three season, the Triplets, a 5-1 record led by Joe Johnson. They've been terrific, and now trying to pick up another victory and get back into first place against the reeling three-headed monsters.
Yes, I'm really impressed with the Triplets, and Coach Lisa Leslie in her first year. You know, she was the first player to dunk in the WNBA game, and I've never dunked in the NBA game. But they're balanced, and I think with the addition of Jamario Moon, that's made them even more versatile.
Avery, here are the State Farm rosters. Three-headed monsters coached by Gary Payton, Rashard Lewis. They need more from him. Reggie Evans has been great the last few weeks. And the Triplets, Al Jefferson has been a great second option for the Triplets, and they have set the standard, no doubt, offensively. 50 points per game. That is first in the Big Three. And look what they've shot from three, 38% thus far.
Yeah, whenever you can stretch the floor behind the three-point line, it just spreads the defense out. And it gives guys like Joe Johnson room to operate.
Avery, you talked about Lisa Leslie already. Four-time Olympic gold medalist, an all-time great in the women's game, and made it to Springfield, Naismith Hall of Fame in 2015, and now trying to make more history and leading the Triplets to a Big Three championship, a 5-1 start. What's been the key so far, why it's worked with Lisa Leslie and this group?
Well, she's intense, and you know, I talked with her last week because we were on the same shuttle going to the hotel, and she said, Avery, I didn't realize how losing was going to hurt as much as it did when I played in the WNBA and when I played collegiate. And she said, when we lost, my whole family, everybody suffered. I wasn't the best mom or wife that week. I was so down after a loss. And she said, that just feeds and fuels my team, because they know I'm here to win. I'm not just here to just, you know, give away my whole summer coaching basketball in the Big Three.
Oh, you live and learn. There's no doubt about that. Only loss for the Triplets this year was against defending champion Power. By the way, you know Gary Payton does not like to lose either. Right now, three-headed monsters are trying to snap what is a three-game losing streak.
Yeah, GP, a guy who was an incredible NBA player. I played against him, you know, and he was the guy when, in my third year of the NBA, the Sonics drafted him and traded me to Denver. So he plays, you know, with a lot of passion, and he's trying to get his team going. He's trying to get them reignited. And two guys that they desperately need, Rashard Lewis, you know, 16-year NBA veteran. He was the MVP in his first year of the Big Three. and his size and versatility, you know, he's got to come up big. And Reggie Evans is a guy who I've coached. And when you think about legendary rebounders, the Dennis Rodmans, the Moses Malones, you know, now the Andre Drummonds and the Rudy Gobert, he's another guy that takes pride in rebounding the basketball and affected it on the defensive end. And that's what Reggie Evans does.
There's your guy, the glove. Gary Payton, 9-time NBA All-Star, Defensive Player of the Year, rare for a guard. And after his long run with the Sonics, was acquired mid-season by the Bucks here in Milwaukee in 2003. Let's revisit some of the key rules here in the Big Three. First team to 50 wins will get to halftime when one scores 25. And the free throws, if someone's fouled inside the arc shooting, it'll be 1 shot for 2 points from the foul line. 4-point shot, any foot on one of the 3 circles. If it goes, it's for 4 points. All right, game number 2 here today from Milwaukee. Here on CBS Sports Network, the Triplets begin with it, and Joe Johnson, maybe the front runner for MVP.
He's definitely the front runner for MVP, and even though, you know, Nancy Lieberman, she's probably the front runner for Coach of the Year, Lisa Leslie may have something to say about that.
Teddy Gibson. Triplets 0 for 2, and Al Jefferson. Let's see if they overturn this. And last touch by the Triplets. So Avery, you have Gibson, Jefferson, Joe Johnson for the Triplets. And for the three-headed monsters, Mario Chalmers with Rashard Lewis and Reggie Evans. A steal and a finish for Joe Johnson.
And it's interesting to see Lisa Leslie's decision to bring Jamario Moon off the bench and start Gibson. But I think you'll see Jamario Moon, especially if the game is close, you'll see him in the game along with Joe Johnson and Al Jefferson.
I have a question. We had a great view of that Rashard Lewis shot. How on earth do you guard that release?
Yeah, because Rashard is 6'9", 6'9.5", but that release makes him look like he's 7 feet tall. It's hard to block.
ISO Joe against the bigger Evans. Long range, and the rebound for Lewis. Chalmers, corner tray. Chalmers off the rebound from Lewis, knocks it down.
And we'll see if, you know, if the three-headed monsters can have the same success as the aliens did in game 1 with success from behind the three-point line, and how that can translate to, you know, developing some momentum early in the game.
Al Jefferson cleans it up. With a challenge for the Triplets, how much Joe Johnson has done. Who could be that other key contributor as Lewis lets it fly and buries it?
Yeah, because in early, you know, the first couple of games of the Big Three, he hasn't had an opportunity to rest. They got off to a great start last week. You know, I did those games in Salt Lake City, and Joe was able to rest for the last third of the game. Talk about his release, boy. It's a high release point. Once he gets his feet set, got a great release.
What a matchup. Lewis against the bigger Jefferson, drop step and the finish. Lewis tried, but that's a tough move.
Yeah, I'm surprised Al, he didn't need one of his famous pump fakes on that play, because he probably outweighs Lewis by about 20 pounds in the paint.
Chalmers, strong take against Teddy Gibson, and Mario Chalmers is going to the line for a 2-point shot.
You know, in the NBA, on the scouting report, you know, you would always have that Al Jefferson is a pump fake specialist. But Al said, Coach Avery, I didn't need it on that play.
Played in the year 14 years, Al Jefferson, out of high school in Mississippi, 15th pick in 2004. A long run with a total of 5 teams. 10-6 start for the three-headed monsters. And Triplets 5-1. If they win, they're all alone in first. Johnson is going to the line for a 2-point shot.
It's an interesting decision by Coach Gary Payton. You know, he started Reggie Evans on Joe Johnson rather than Rashard Lewis, and he's matched up Rashard Lewis with Al Jefferson in the paint. And Reggie's going to take the challenge. He's not going to back down.
But that 6'8", against a guy a little bit smaller, but so evasive. And you think about the numbers Joe Johnson's put up. He's first in scoring, first in assists. He has not one, not two, but 4 20-point games thus far.
He's been the most consistent player in the league. He's played in every game. I know Corey Maggetti's coming on strong, but Joe's been here, you know, from game one, and he's been really consistent.
A little stoppage. They're working on the scoreboard here in the arena. Yeah, Fiserv Forum, what you see down low is correct, 10-6. Three-headed monsters with the early lead. You don't want a scoreboard malfunction with ISO Joe, because when he's doing this, it's going to build up quickly.
Yes. Joe, there was a nice story in the local newspaper on Joe Johnson last week, and it just, again, continues to show our guys' passion and desire to play the game of basketball.
That was a return to Salt Lake City. ISO Joe, over 20,000 points in the NBA and a 7-time All-Star. Gary Payton's club, early 2-point lead. First half of this one from Milwaukee in the Big 3. Early going in Milwaukee, game number 2, three-headed monsters with the lead. Now, Thursday night at 7 Eastern, CBS Sports Network brings you more summer hoops. It's a WNBA showdown, Indiana and Washington on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Guess who's back in his NBA home? Larry Sanders played 5 years in the NBA with the Bucks, 15th pick in 2010. Averaged 6 points and 5 rebounds in his time with Milwaukee. Larry Sanders is with our Jenny Dell.
All right, Larry, you spent the majority of your time in the NBA right here in Milwaukee. Are you happy to be back, and what makes this city so special?
Yeah, I'm happy to be back. The new arena looks great. It's a great feeling in the city, and it's always good in the summertime, so I'm happy to be here.
We're excited to watch you ball later, but earlier this season you proposed to your girlfriend at one of the Big 3 games. How is wedding planning going? I mean, that's what the people at home really want to know.
Yeah, the wedding planning is the easy part. We both got similar tastes, but you know, we're still trying to pick a date and whatnot, but it's exciting, so we're looking forward to that too.
All right, once you have a date, it's all good from there. Guys, back to you.
All right, Jenny, thanks. Get the date first, the rest falls right into place.
Falls right into place. Interesting to see what his bridal registry looks like. Is it one of those expensive ones where a 6-piece plate setting costs, you know, $5,000?
Holly J hopes so. But as long as he says yes to Holly J, he's going to be in wonderful shape. But Larry Sanders, somebody who played 6 years in the NBA, Avery. He's from Fort Pierce, Florida, but back in Milwaukee. A nice pass. Chalmers with Evans rolling. It's going to be a 2-point shot for Reggie Evans.
I love when guards play pick and roll and just make the right decision. You know, do I score it, pass it, interior pass, short, what we call a short pass, kick out for a 3. Terrific decision by Chalmers.
Reggie Evans is as tough a matchup as any player in this league. Go back to last year, led the Big 3 in rebounding and blocks, and this year he is averaging another double-double.
Yeah, the key is going to be for Joe Johnson to try to move him around a little bit. Reggie can guard him in a small space.
ISO Joe, step to his right, drills the jumper from inside the arc.
And he made the right decision. Didn't try to overpower Reggie in that same area. Put the ball on the floor, created some more room to operate.
Chalmers poked away, and last touched by Gibson. ISO Joe now with 6 points.
We used to run a play called one up for Joe back with the Nets. Try to get him a catch right there on the right elbow, but also clear the corner out for him just to operate and give him a chance to isolate and just create. So that play looked really familiar.
Give it to him, let him go. 3 to shoot. Lewis lost it. Chalmers goes up for a 4-point shot. Gibson took it away. Johnson teardrop is good. And we're tied up at 12.
Gibson is having an impact on this game with his steals. Hustle points.
Sergio Teddy Gibson Lewis kept it alive. Chalmers fouled, shooting a three, and he's going to get one shot from beyond the arc. Smart play by Chalmers to let it fly.
Smart, high basketball IQ play. You got the defense out of position. Young basketball players, you know, they need to utilize that pump fake and shot fake a lot more from behind the three-point line instead of shooting a contested closed-door three, a closed window three where you can't even see the basket.
Chalmers steps up and drills it, and just like that, it's a three-point lead for the three-headed monsters. Now that's big, Avery, because you mentioned Joe Johnson last week got the breather with his team up big. Gets one now with his team down by 3.
Yeah, this is the earliest breather he's received here in the Big 3 season. So we'll see if Jamario Moon or Anderson can pick it up. And he picked up the slack.
Alan Anderson knocks down the 3. So that's a rare view for ISO Joe and Lisa Leslie. Chalmers slips it. Evans to Al Thornton. Fly by, drive. Thornton with the finish on the move in his debut for the three-headed monsters.
Al's been working out somewhere. He was moving pretty good on that play.
Stay active. 4-year NBA veteran out of Florida State. Al Jefferson, a lot of contact underneath.
He's another shot fake guy similar to Reggie Evans. And what a beautiful shot fake on that play and finish. We talked in the first game about the Euro step and, you know, the lack of finish. But I think you said, you know, somebody went on a trip to Europe and didn't return.
Between Ginobili and so many players from that time, it really caught on in recent years, the Euro step. And here is Chalmers, who drills it, two-point shot. He's made some big ones. The foul when he shot the 3 made that one. And right now it's the three-headed monsters. 4-point lead with Joe Johnson on the bench.
Yes, and the fouls are mounting for the triplets.
Oh, the fake pass and the jumper from Mario Chalmers.
That was a CP3 Chris Paul special with the fake pass. Chris Paul's been effective with that move with the Clippers, the Rockets, the New Orleans franchise. I know they've had different names, and now he's going to utilize that move with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's a CP3 special.
Al Jefferson was on an island. ISO Joe back. A little breather for the triplets. He comes in with his team down by 6. And cheers for Larry Sanders. Just spoke to Jenny Dell, the former Buck, his first appearance today.
Are we hearing mixed reviews?
Love the returns here in Milwaukee today as Anderson's fouled. Triplets not in the bonus yet. So you have Joe Johnson, Alan Anderson, Jamario Moon for the triplets. Larry Sanders with Al Thornton and Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf for the three-headed monsters.
I like to see Larry Sanders, you know, maybe catch a lob dunk here, get the crowd even more into the game. Crowd's been pretty animated here early.
They've had a lot to cheer about here in Milwaukee in recent years.
Yeah, game 1 saw a shooting exhibition by Brandon Rush and Greg Oden play well, and now let's see what happens in game 2. Got the early season MVP and ISO Joe.
Anderson against Mahmoud. Offensive foul, Alan Anderson, crafty there from Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Wow.
Now the cheese must have been bitter for Alan Anderson. He does not like that call.
Yeah, I like to see a replay on that one. Yep, Alan was holding Mahmoud off with his left forearm. He didn't get both of his hands up until it was too late. You got to do it early.
Two-point shot from Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, and what a class of efficiency from the three-headed monsters. Avery, they're 5 of 6 in the field, and some big shots at the line, plus that three-point shot from Chalmers.
Playing with a lot of energy early to start this game.
3 to shoot. Mahmoud grazed the rim. They have to clear it.
Right now, the Triplets are depending too much on Joe Johnson.
Off the mark. Thornton, no, but he's going to take a 2-point shot. Johnson didn't even hit the rim.
Right, and on that last play, Jamario's Moon man wasn't really guarding him. He's got to raise up and take the 3 or try to take him off the dribble. I know Joe's their go-to guy, but he needs more help. And I think Joe's going to have to do a good job of reading defense that when they bring that help, kick it out to his teammate.
This is for halftime. Al Thornton in his debut with the three-headed Monsters. And what a first half, 25-15, a 10-point lead at the break.
Three-headed Monsters look like the much more energized team, and Al Thornton has given him a huge lift.
Thornton with 4 points, a 13-3 run to close the first half of the three-headed Monsters. Again, this is a team that began with 2 wins to start the season and has lost 3 in a row entering this one. Close loss 2 weeks ago against Tri-State by 4. And right now, some standout performances, including 12 points from Mario Chalmers to take a 25-15 lead at the break. First half in the books from Milwaukee on CBS Sports Network. Big 3 founder Ice Cube and his wife Kimberly here in Milwaukee. What a first half. Three-headed Monsters up by 10 against the Triplets at the break. Ed Cohen back with Avery Johnson. What can you say? Three-headed Monsters, 5 of 7 from the field. Big shots from Mario Chalmers, and they kept Joe Johnson in check in that first half.
Yeah, the defense on Joe Johnson has been exceptional. But I love Gary Payton's substitution pattern in the first half, and that's aided him to get a variety of guys involved. You know, Rashard Lewis early, then, you know, Al Thornton came on at the end of the first half. So Gary Payton's done a really nice job mixing up his offense, moving the ball around the different players.
I'll talk about one of those guys, Mario Chalmers, the big boost to start this one for the three-headed Monsters.
And we've consistently seen it. Guys that have gotten off to a great start in a rhythm from behind the three-point line, now they're able to expand their game and not only play from behind the three-point line, but play mid-range, but also Chalmers made some good decisions with the basketball in terms of getting his teammates involved.
10-0 run to close the half, a massive advantage from the foul line. The glove, Gary Payton, is with our Jenny Dell.
Hey, Coach, normally the three-headed Monsters deal with a little bit of a slow start, but up 10 at the half. What did you see from your team in the first half, and what do you want to change in the second?
Well, while we was always off to a slow start, we never played defense. This time we got defense. I went and got Al Thornton, and he brought a little presence to us. And now I'm getting everybody involved with the game, and everybody's more intense. Our defense has to start. We can always score. We're 4th in the league in scoring. So we have to play defense for us to do it, and that's what we're doing tonight. We're playing defense.
I love the intensity coming out of here. Now, last year you got the trash talking award. Have you had to implement any trash talking here today?
No, we haven't. They're playing well. I don't have to say anything. You know, if I don't say anything, and then it's even better. The referees stay off of us. They've been a little tough on us for the last 3 weeks, so I'll stay off of them a little bit.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
All right, Jenny, thanks. Hey, Avery, when Gary Payton says we need to defend, it's not good enough, you better listen.
You better listen, because the gloves may come off the glove.
There'll be trash talking.
Yeah, we don't want the glove to start getting physical with anybody.
Oh, give and go, and one extra feet too many from Mahmoud. All smiles with Larry Sanders.
When I've coached in the past, Ed, that's what I call, believe it or not, a good turnover.
Yes.
Player's heart is in the right place.
Evans is going to the line.
Yeah, just it wasn't successful, but you tried to make the right play. You weren't playing selfish. You were very unselfish. It was a reaction type of a pass, and those things happen. Coaches, we don't like turnovers at all, but sometimes, you know, that's a good one, because your heart's in the right place.
Doesn't hurt to get it right back. Joe Johnson poked away from him. First Triplets turnover. Evans short on the 2-point shot. ISO Joe trying to get going. He has struggled. Rebound Sanders. Johnson now 3 of 9, 0 of 4 from 3. Up fake, Mahmoud. Put back in on the weak side, Larry Sanders.
And we talked about Sanders getting going, maybe with a lob, but also, you know, on the offensive glass. But that gives Gary Payton another option offensively. And he's starting off big this half with both Sanders and Evans on the court at the same time instead of Rashard Lewis.
Johnson, leaner is good. A tough shot to end what was a 15-3 run for the three-headed monsters.
Yeah, that's a tough cover for anybody. 6'5" wingman, 6'7" small forward, or 6'10" power forward like Reggie Evans.
Look at him clear room with the jab step. Johnson to the spot, Evans late. Mahmoud in a battle with Gibson, loose ball foul. It's going to stay right here. It's on Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
I think a major key for the Triplets is going to be, you know, Jamario Moon when he comes back in. And when you're down like the Triplets, you got to get some offensive rebounds and some easy baskets.
Gibson turned the corner, Jefferson wide open. Evans. Look at the battle, and last touched.
That's a win for the Triplets. Excuse me, that's a win for the three-headed monsters, you know, when Al Jefferson is attempting three-point shots.
They're going to take a look at this. Look how close it was.
From that angle, we couldn't quite tell who the ball went off. Looked like it's off of Sanders' knee. Looked like Sanders' right knee right here kicked the ball out of bounds. Or, for lack of a better word, kneed the ball out of bounds.
Officials here in game 2, Charles Rubia is a crew chief, David Posner, Chad Beswick.
Ed, this is a beautiful arena. You've been here twice. This is my first time.
Fiserv Forum, just across the street from the side of the old Bradley Center, which was finally torn down during the playoffs this year. That was home to the Bucks for 30 years.
Yeah, I played many games in there, Bradley Center.
And not to age you never played at the Mecca,
No.
which is further down the road as Jefferson misses, rebound Sanders. That is still open, in fact, the Mecca.
Yeah, my first year in the NBA, which was 1988. I think that was the first year of the Bradley Center.
Yes. Active hands by Gibson. Johnson slithering, had to get it back. ISO Joe leaner, and you can see he's just trying to get his team back into this game.
Wow, just remarkable body control. Joe's been having that type of body control his entire career.
Evans was in a big battle underneath with Joe Johnson.
And I've said it and I'll say it before. Joe Johnson is a guy that needs to be on speed dial for an NBA team in the fall. He can help, you know, I can think of 10 different NBA teams, and we have, you know, a few guys in the big three that's have that capability. You agree?
No doubt. Oh, Evans almost got a second chance. Last appearance for Johnson in the NBA was with Houston last year. Abdul-Rauf jumper is good off the bounce. And he talked about it, Avery, his return to Salt Lake City last week. He had played with the Jazz, how he believes he belongs still. And that's part of what the Big Three has given him, that chance to show the world, hey, I've still got it.
Yeah, this is the big stage, the Big Three. And, you know, Joe Johnson is a guy with his size. I don't think, you know, from a physical standpoint, you know, he's changed. He looks in incredible shape. He's moving without the ball well. I think he's become a much improved passer.
Avery, triplets and power. This is one of the biggest games of the regular season back in Kansas City. Joe Johnson scored 19 for the triplets, but against the defending champions, Corey Maggette, some ankle breakers, and had enough to finish it off. 20 points for Maggette. Power get the benefit of the head-to-head, win by 3.
Yeah, that was the Corey Maggette show. Corey had it going. You know, that mid-range right hand dribble hesitation move. I've seen that before with the Los Angeles Clippers. You know, guys have their pet moves or their go-to move, and they just perfect it. And he's perfected that move. And they did a great job on Joe defensively because he only scored 19 points.
Oh, we saw how good the triplets are after halftime. Plus 50 for the season. Johnson in and out. And right now in a 10-point hole. 29-19, three-headed monsters. Power winning yesterday. Mahmoud takes it and scores. Turn the corner and the burst to the rim.
Yeah, you know, from a defensive standpoint, three-headed monsters are going to try to get Al Jefferson from the triplets involved in pick and rolls. I don't think he wants to switch on a pick and roll. You know, he tried what teams would call a straight zone drop. You see Al Jefferson in the zone drop, he never really impacts the ball. The defensive player, Allen Anderson, is in the trail position, never gets back in front. So in that situation, Al Jefferson, he's going to have to come over and maybe what we call a late switch and switch that pick and roll to give his teammate some help.
This will be on Evans. And Joe Johnson's going to the line for a two-point shot. He's 5 of 13. He's missed all 4 of his shots from 3. And again, lead is 12 for the three-headed monsters. If you get this guy cooking at any moment, that shifts the entire game.
I think what you're going to see continually as this game moves on, Gary Payton, the three-headed monsters coach, he's going to try to make other guys make decisions. He's not going to sit by and, you know, allow Joe Johnson to just beat him by himself. He's going to force Joe Johnson to try to find Allen Anderson or Al Jefferson. Here it is again. They're getting Al Jefferson involved in the pick and roll.
Sanders, no. Bobbled. Another chance. Abdul-Rauf drills it. Three-pointer from Mahmoud. 13-point lead for the three-headed monsters.
That was all on Larry Sanders. You know, on the highlights, you'll see Mahmoud, you know, having success on that three, but it was created by Larry Sanders' offensive rebound in his hustle.
Johnson's going back to the line for a two-point shot, but this is the largest lead for the three-headed monsters.
Yes, the sprint to the basketball, and then a little bit of a hold-off moving screen on Larry Sanders. If the refs in their post-game evaluation, they may call that, they should have called that an offensive foul. Maybe that's what they're going to come to in their summary of this game when they're going through all of their evaluations.
It's a welcome back to Milwaukee present for Larry Sanders. Take it and run.
I think everybody's good when you have a mulligan. Yes. When I'm playing golf and I have a bad drive and somebody gives me a mulligan, I always hit the second drive better than the first drive.
Take it and go. Jamario Moon is in. He was acquired before last week from the Ghost Ballers. Big addition. Thornton jumper, and Moon up for the rebound. Acquired in the trade that sent Chris Johnson to the Ghost Ballers. Joe Johnson spins. Nowhere to go. Fall away. Great D by Thornton. And gets to the rebound.
Thornton and Sanders have been major contributors in terms of their energy on the floor.
This is on Allen Anderson. Long way to go, but 11-point lead right now against the triplets.
Yeah, surprised we haven't seen Rashard Lewis.
Yep.
Looked like he has his ankle wrapped up on the bench. I'm not sure if that's ice or a heating pad on his left ankle.
Abdul-Rauf, three-pointer, drops it in over Joe Johnson, turning back the clock. Largest lead for the three-headed monsters.
Yeah, my old teammate from the Denver Nuggets. Whenever he gets space, he can raise up and shoot. He's from Mississippi. That shot was from Mississippi.
Here in Milwaukee, three-headed monsters in command against the triplets by 14. Time for our B1 shot of the game. And thus far, Mario Chalmers has made a huge difference. The fake pass and the jumper, Avery.
love how Mario is playing right now, really mixing up his game. And when you have that size, sometimes you need to add that little fadeaway to your game to get your shot off.
Chalmers with Jenny Dell. Jenny.
All right, you've lost 3 straight since starting the season 2-0, and it's looking good for you right now. How do you feel about the team's performance so far?
We started off good. That's the main thing. We're defending Joe, so that's the good thing. We're up right now. We just got to keep it going.
You have 9 seasons in the NBA, playing in Italy now. When you look at the competition level of the Big Three, how does it compare?
A lot more physical. Being with the guys that's all been in the NBA, these are all some of the best athletes that ever played the game, some of the best scorers. So it's just good to compete against guys that you never thought you would get a chance to compete with and have fun and keep playing basketball.
Well, have fun and keep playing basketball. Good luck for the rest of the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mario Chalmers, he's still playing in Italy, but the fact is the physicality is something that the players crave in the Big Three.
Yes, if you can't play physical in the Big Three, this is not the league. I've been affected so much by the physicality in the Big Three, Ed. I've hired a trainer, and I'm back in the weight room lifting weights like I did when I was playing in the NBA.
You've looked a lot more toned from the beginning of the season until now. It's been just 7 weeks.
Appreciate it. You can feel it, Ed, the way I'm elbowing you here on the sideline.
That just hurt. I'm trying to see the mic to you. ISO Joe is trying to get his team back in it. He has 18 points. He's made 6 shots, but the Triplets are down by 12.
Yeah, Joe, he's not getting any help, from the rest of his team.
Joe Johnson with Allen Anderson and Jamario Moon for the Triplets in light blue. ISO Joe against Al Thornton. Spins, steps through, and he scores. He's got 20 once again.
Yes, he's trying to lead his team to victory all by himself. That time, Gary Payton decided that they were going to just play him one-on-one and give him what we call single coverage.
Way off the mark, never hit the rim.
Mario's going to have to make a shot for him.
Behind the back, Johnson corner tray. Moon going to the line for a 2-point shot for the Triplets, who are within 10.
Joe, he's got that look in his eye that if he's not going to get any help, I got to do it all by myself. You'll see the three-headed monsters mix up their defense a little bit more if he continues to be effective and force Joe to find somebody else, maybe on the backside or on the perimeter.
Gary Payton, by the way, going wholesale right now. Chalmers, Rashard Lewis, Reggie Evans all in for Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf, Al Thornton, and Larry Sanders.
Part of coaching is not always, drawing up a cute play. It's having a pulse of your team. Who needs a break? What combinations do we need to utilize on the floor?
Turnover, Moon no, Johnson no. Triplets get it back in the midst of a 6-0 run. ISO Joe. Between the legs, against Lewis, the drive, can't finish it. Loose ball foul. Lewis was on the ground. He tripped Joe Johnson, and Lewis is whistled.
Yeah, I thought they were going to call Reggie Evans for that foul. He crashed in there right at the very end. Right there at the end. But maybe Lewis, had an opportunity to pull Anderson down on that one. But Reggie came in with a force. That's like, he looked like he was a defensive lineman rushing a quarterback.
He could play for the Packers.
Yeah. Is it football season yet, Ed?
We're getting there.
Okay.
Get ready. Just had the Hall of Fame game. Now they're going to take another look at this. The funny part of it all is Chalmers began to line up at the foul line thinking it was a shot for the three-headed monsters, and our crew's going to jump on headset and review.
Boy, and look at the look on Gary Payton's face. He's standing near the scores table. And look at these guys giving up their bodies. They want to win. We talked about how close it is in the standings, and teams at this point in the season, they cannot afford another loss, especially the three-headed monsters. They already have 3 losses.
You mentioned at the top of the show, if you get to 4 losses, it's incredibly tough.
It's tough. Tough. This is a must-win for the three-headed monsters, and they're playing with that type of intensity.
Remember the Triplets losing the tiebreaker head-to-head to Power a couple of weeks ago. Johnson well short. Legs just aren't there, and Chalmers tried to throw it off of him. Lands out of bounds.
That was always one of the non-negotiables, you know, coaching in the NBA and in college. Man, you cannot allow free throw rebounds when you're the defensive team. You cannot allow the offensive team. It's 3 against 2 on the line. You got to box out and make contact. Everybody have to understand what their roles are on the line. That's not really the sexy part of basketball, boxing out on the free throw line.
Oh, Evans airmails Lewis. Here are the Triplets down as many as 14. It's an 8-point game right now.
Yeah, they're trying to claw their way back into it, and we've said it over and over and over again. When you have the lead, you want to get quality shots. You want to take care of the basketball, because then even if you miss, you can get offensive rebounds or potentially get to the free throw line.
Joe Johnson, no, air ball, Moon blocked by Lewis, and a third opportunity, ISO Joe back out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was Mario Moon. Exceptional defense.
8-0 run, three-headed monsters ice cold. Like a chilly Milwaukee winter. And a foul as Evans came to set the screen. Alan Anderson is whistled once again.
Yeah, the Triplets defensively, they've basically diffused the three-headed monsters post-up game with Reggie Evans. They can't get him the ball.
A lot of jawing between sides. Evans trying to plead that last call, and they're going to say it's on Evans, not on Anderson. They switched it.
Yeah, and another way to lose the lead is to get in the bonus and allow your opponents to get to the free throw line and have success. Or start complaining to the officials on every call.
You might get one.
Yeah, you start losing your focus. Or then that may lead to a technical foul, you know, when you're too demonstrative, too animated.
Oh, Chalmers, coming back to your last point, might want to be a little careful here. Alan Anderson's going to the line as the Triplets continue to chip away. What was a 14-point lead? They're back within 4. A 10-0 run for the Triplets. Avery Allen Anderson, 8 NBA seasons, another undrafted guy. I know you appreciate those men out of Michigan State.
Yeah, when you're undrafted, you just play with an edge.
Oh, he buries the 3 as he's knocked down, and it's a 1-point game.
I think he was fouled.
13-0 run. Chalmers hits it, and he is fouled, and he'll have a chance at a 4-point play. What a sequence in Milwaukee.
It's so exciting. Wow, look who just walked in.
Mike Taylor, Milwaukee native of the Ghost Ballers. They played yesterday in Chicago. Just came by the booth, and he comes in at a good time watching Chalmers light it up.
Yes, Mike is doing an amazing job here in the community, giving back, working with young people in the community. I think a lot of his kids are here attending the game today. And boy, they've seen 2 incredible offensive plays.
Lewis, the block shot, turns and scores. Three-headed monsters were up against it. Triplets went on a 13-0 run, and all of a sudden, the 6-0 run to respond.
It's impressive the way the three-headed monsters, now they've got their confidence back, a couple of easy baskets.
Moon, nice body control against Rashard Lewis. You just get the sense a 5-point cushion is nothing in this game.
No. You're never really out of the game.
Lewis over Joe Johnson. He comes in back-to-back buckets.
And he didn't start the second half. Maybe Gary Payton thought I needed to give him a little bit of a blower. He liked the team that he had in there.
Moon set up by Joe Johnson, and a much-needed three.
What an offensive exhibition that these guys are putting on.
46-41.
They are definitely giving the fans their money's worth. They're shooting the ball extremely well, playing with a lot of passion and desire.
Chalmers reverse, no. Moon cleaning it up, and the Triplets are within three. Timeout, Gary Payton, and the three-headed monsters, a thriller here in Milwaukee.
When you drive the basketball, you basically gonna have to get taken out like a running back on a sweep, because you're not going to get a call. So do not expect a call from the officials.
In case you're just joining us, three-headed monsters had a 14-point lead, but the Triplets slowly but surely have gotten it back to within three. Triplets, if they can come back and win, they'd be 6-1, all alone atop the Big Three standings. Three-headed monsters, they're down in 10th currently. Things could change with a win to get back to 500.
Yes, and that's what Lisa Leslie's probably telling our team right now. You know, we have a chance to, you know, clearly come in first place team right now.
That wants a 13-0 run. Triplets down 14, back within three.
Smoking Joe, ISO Joe, and now, you know, he's starting to get some contributions from his teammates, not necessarily always scoring, but with hustle points.
20-9 run overall. Mahmoud lost the ball, but he's fouled on the perimeter. Jamaria Moon can't believe it. It's going to be one shot for 2 points. Three-headed monsters have scored 14 points here today at the foul line. And look at Mahmoud, he's got 12 points already today.
Yeah, and this is a point in the game with the foul situations with both teams. You have to play defense without fouling. You got to defend. One of the things you don't want to do, you don't want to trust luck right now. And you don't want to put the game in the officials' hands. You want to control what you can control.
Like a veteran, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf steps up. Reason why he led the NBA in free throw percentage twice.
This would be such an amazing win if the three-headed monsters can pull this off.
Point game. Joe Johnson for Moon for three. Anderson kept it alive.
Joe's open.
Anderson hits it against Mahmoud. 2-point game.
We thought game one was going to go down to the wire, but the Triplets and the three-headed monsters are putting on a show.
Lisa Leslie basically ran into the plate to call timeout. Her team down 2.
Yeah, smart timeout here so she can get our defense set. Alan Anderson, it was close. I thought he got fouled on it, but he didn't get fouled. So here is a situation, you know, offensively, you do not want to take any off-balance bad shots. All of your shots, you got to have great balance. You got to know exactly where you want to get the ball, who you want taking the shot. If somebody gets trapped, then you have to have the appropriate spacing. You don't want to have, if a guy gets trapped, you don't want to have the other two players standing next to each other where one defender can guard 2 players. You want to spread out, get your hands ready to shoot the basketball, because you just never know, you know, when a pass may come your way if one of the guys get in trouble offensively.
Here it is, point game for Gary Payton's club. Out of the timeout with Lewis, Evans, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. The Triplets need a stop.
Yeah, look for them to go to Rashard Lewis.
Posting up Anderson. Lewis looking for space, flings it up, short, ball's loose. Moon saves it.
Yeah, Lewis wanted the referees to try to bail him out. He didn't get 2 hands on the ball.
They can win it with a 4-point shot. Johnson wants it for the win. He's got it! ISO Joe! Wow! The Triplets have won it in Milwaukee.
Step back, going left, out of bounds. seat, Ed.
ISO Joe's the song of the summer, baby.
Do you think Lisa Leslie drew that up in the timeout?
You thought maybe, and then this.
ISO Joe, he had, a smaller defender on him, Mahmoud. He knew he can get his shot off, made an incredible shot. Wow, what an elite shot.
Cube, what do you say? The beauty of the big three, you're down by 2. Greatness from the MVP frontrunner. Ball game.
Boy, I wouldn't want to be in the locker room if I'm Gary Payton's team. He's not happy right now. Wow, I wonder what this post-game speech is going to be like.
Jenny Dell is trying to get in that huddle because the triplets are celebrating arguably the most dramatic win so far in the Big 3 season.
Wow, you got ISO Joe. I see Lisa's over there with her little son MJ too.
To Jenny and Joe.
All right, what are the emotions going through your mind right now? That was a wild finish and an epic comeback.
We knew it was going to be a tough battle, man. We knew it was going to be an ugly game. When we were down 37-23, I told the guys to hang in there, and we was going to win this game. And we did that.
Coach Leslie, given, I'm sure, motivating speech. Lisa Leslie, an incredible coach. What has she drawn up in those last few moments, and what did she say post-game to you right now?
Coach Leslie has been great for us. Man, she overly prepares us for the game. And today was one of those games, man. She stuck with the game plan, just kept telling us to keep fighting. And we knew playing against Reggie it was going to be tough because he crashed the glass. But I thought we kept our composure when they made their run, and we did what we had to do to win.
When you're down that far, what's the message to the team, and what did you learn about this squad here today?
We was resilient. Obviously, we've been resilient all year. We've been down 21-6, start games. For whatever reason, we getting off the slow start. If it's me, I need to be more aggressive from the start. I don't know, but we getting off the slow starts and we digging ourselves holes, and we have to climb out of them. But we've done that so far.
Now 6-1 on the season. What is the ceiling for this team?
Well, we got a lot more room for improvement. Obviously, starting games, so we got to keep working, get to the drawing board, maybe watch this game again. Obviously, they beat us in the hustle plays. Rashard made shots. Mahmoud made shots. Reggie, he's always going to put his imprint on the game, so we just had to stay composed.
Congratulations on a great win and that epic 4-point shot. I mean, that was exciting to watch. Great job out there today.
Thank you.
All right, Jenny Dell, here are the updated standings. The triplets all alone in first place, half game better than Power. Joe Johnson, his 4th game winner in the Big 3, was 0 of 5 from 3. Guess what? He was 1 of 1 from the 4-point circle. A winner for the triplets, 50-48. What an ending in Milwaukee. 2 games down and more to come. The Big 3 on CBS Sports Network.